We're still early in 2024, and I just want to continue to talk to you guys about some mindset things that I believe will help you grow in this year. Now, not only does this apply to barbering, but it also applies just in general to life. And one of the things that I want to help you with first is to understand when you make excuses for the work you did not do, you only damage yourself. Let me say that one more time. When you make excuses for the work you didn't do, you only damage yourself. And here's what's so big, here's what's so important about that. You're creating these lies to make yourself feel more comfortable in the situation that you're in. Oh, I did this because of this. Oh, I did this because of that. Oh, I did this because... Nobody wants to hear it. Guess what? At the end of the day, everybody has a tough life. Everybody, and whether it's tough in the mansion or tough in the projects. Yes, there's differences in a mansion and the projects, but it's still tough. Oh, but you don't know. No, what I know is what I do know is that waiting for someone else to come and rescue you from a situation is crazy. And just like we talked about last night about asking the right questions, it's the same mentality. I mean, let's just be honest here with ourselves. You're waiting for someone else to come and rescue you instead of changing your habits, your situation, your things that you've got going on. I can remember a conversation a few years ago, and I was talking to this lady, and she was a business owner from New York. Now, I live in Virginia. I live in a rural part of Virginia, but it's not so rural, but it's still rural at the same time. And we were talking about shoes. I don't know how we got on a conversation or anything like that, but the lady said that she was trying to buy some shoes for her nieces and nephews because they can't just wear any kind of shoe where they're at because they're going to get made fun of. And I don't know why that conversation sticks with me, but I thought it was the funniest conversation, honestly, in the world. Because I'm thinking to myself, if they're not in a situation that they can afford to wear the shoes that they desire to wear, why would you buy them shoes? Or why would you do... You're giving them a false sense of reality. You're giving them a false sense of reality. And see, a lot of times we will do that, and we will do that, especially in the industry, right? In the barber industry, a lot of barbers will give themselves a false sense of reality. Oh, I only want the kinky, wavy, curly guys. I don't want to deal with nobody else. I ain't learning how to do that. I ain't doing this. But then in the same breath, they'll turn around and say, oh man, it's slow in here. Or You get what I'm saying? Oh man, it's slow. Ain't nobody paying. Ain't nobody coming in. Well, okay. And then we look at the outliers of this situation. Okay. Well, you got a neighborhood shop, right? That's maybe you got a a little mom and pop type shop in the neighborhood. It's in a you got cheap rent and everything like that. But I got my kinky wavy curly clients, and I'm charging them. I'm getting $60 a head, but you don't see them but every 2 months. I don't understand. I like to see, this is for me personally, I like to see my clients every 2 weeks, a month at a month at a month at the max. A month at max. I'd like to see my clients once a month. 2 months, 3 months. Now you getting into transformation type stuff, right? And am I against transformations? No. But I know for my clientele base, the longer their hair gets, the less care that they take of it. Now, what does that have to do with making excuses and all of that type of stuff? That was kind of a tangent, but back to it. Like when you make, but again, okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. So you lock yourself in and said, I'm only dealing with this one type of client. It's the only client I want to deal with. I'm a barber and I can choose it. You're right. You can. You can. You can choose who you want to serve. But like I said, if you charging $60 plus, oh yeah, I know my worth, blah 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 blah. But then you still talking about you slow. Do you really know your worth? And what does and let me say this. What does knowing your worth have to do with the demand for your services? Hear me out. What does knowing your worth have to do with the demand for your services? It's just a question. Just to just let me know. Uh, I'm just saying. It doesn't seem like the greatest or the brightest of ideas. Oh, I know what I'm worth. No, where is and like this is the piece that people miss, I think, in their pricing. What is the value that you're bringing? Oh, I got the freshest cuts. Not many people care about that. That's why if you priced $50, $60, that's why you're not seeing them but every 2 months. Because although they value it, that's not a realistic thing that they can keep up with. You know, average rent for a person with a small to mid-sized family is gonna run you about $2,000 at a minimum in most places in this country. That's just the rent. That's not including the utilities. That's not including any of that type of stuff. And do you understand and realize that most places are charging? Uh, you've got all that. You've got your utilities on top of that. So they're doing all that. They're doing all that while the best that you might get in some places for like $20 is doing something for a lot of people. $20 an hour is really doing something for a lot of people. And that's now again, and they taking taxes. If they getting $20 an hour, 30% of that, give or take a few. I won't say 30. Let's say at least 20% of that is going in taxes. So if they making $20 an hour, they only taking home 16 after taxes. And then if they got insurance and all those other things on there that they getting billed for, they might only really be taking home $14 an hour, $12 an hour. This might be what they taking home, $12 an hour. They trading 40 plus hours a week for $12 an hour. Hey, you know, and I understand that this may not be so well organized, but I want you to stay with me and understand, like, you making excuses for not, like, you know what I'm saying? People are making excuses in this industry for not learning the other things, right? Barber that likes to cut straight hair. I can't cut kinky, wavy, curly hair. Oh, okay. Well, last time I checked, if you went to school or you ever looked at a Milady textbook or a Pivot Point textbook, I'm pretty sure there's not a kinky, wavy, curly book and a straight haired book. Pretty sure they just talk about hair. And actually, that's why you hear me refer to it as kinky, wavy, curly, or straight. I don't talk about one race versus the other. I talk about hair as hair. I'm a barber. I cut hair. I don't care who the client is. I cut hair. Do I prefer to cut long hair? Absolutely not. Can I cut long hair? Absolutely. Is it gonna be as quick? I don't cut a lot of long hair. Can I do it? Yes. Oh, well, anybody can do it. Can I do it effectively and efficiently? There's a better question for you. Yes. Because guess what? I learned how to do it. It's just the bottom line. I learned how to do it. What more do you want? I didn't know how to do it. Then I learned how to do it. Cause I tell the story, and I'll say it again. When I came into the shop that I was in, and that I'm still associated with, when I came into the shop, the straight haired clients were the only ones that would really give me a chance in the beginning. And guess what? Those are the people that I worked with. Those are the people that I worked with. And I gave them the best that I could give them. And the anxiety and stress about dealing with them, I could have just been like, oh, I'm not doing this. But I'm not only here to cut hair, I'm also here to provide a living for my family. So every time you turn away a client, you're saying, no, my family doesn't need that money. No, I don't need that. There's a difference, somebody will say, all money ain't good money. Okay, right, but we're not talking about we not talking about that in that context. Oh, I don't want to mess them up. You went to barber school. You became a barber. Learn how to cut the hair. Oh my! I ain't doing all that. Oh, okay. Sound like an excuse to me. Somebody once told me any excuse will do, I guess, huh? Any excuse will do. That's what we thought. That's that's what it looked like to me. Oh yeah, whatever. I ain't fooling with that. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't doing all that. Well, don't complain about it when you're slow. Don't overtax people for haircuts because you don't know, because you can't fill the clientele with just people. Oh no, I'm just gonna charge. Now, if you in the area where that's the only thing that you have, that is one thing. But you should still know and be prepared for anything to come in the shop. Can't tell you how many times in my area I've been there in the shop I'm with, that I've been in the shop and people come by and be like, man, I was riding down the road and I saw you and I thought I'd stop in. Now, I tell you what's a deterrent for most people. The deterrent for most people, no, we're not going to do that tonight. We're not going to do that tonight. I got enough smoke in the air already. We're not going to do that tonight, but we're going to talk about it at some point. No, you know what? Forget it. Hey, the deterrent for most people to come into shops that may be deemed or seen as this shop versus that, kinky whirly, kinky curly wavy hair versus straight hair. The deterrent for most people is what goes on in or outside the shop. So you talking about, hey, it's slow in here, ain't nobody making no money, and da 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 da, and so on and so forth. But when your shop do got people in it, it look like a rap video outside. Oh, that's just what we do. Is it? Is it? Or is that just what you allow? Is that just how it? Well, I ain't gonna change who I am. Okay, then you're saying again, I'm not to provide for my family. I'm not willing to change or mature in who I am. It's your business. Asking someone to take their whatever they got going on somewhere else, right, is not disrespect. Oh man, you didn't change. I have a business. This is how I feed my family. I'm asking you to refrain from doing X, Y, and Z in front of the establishment where I make money. Because although it may seem fun for you and it looks cool and you having a good time, you are damaging my business's representation or reputation. Sorry. You are damaging my business's reputation by taking your by your activity in front of my business. And if a person can't respect that, then maybe they don't need to be your client. But making it, oh man, but you know what I'm saying, they be hanging out and everything, like there's a huge difference. Now I will say for me, at least 2 to 3 times a day, I like to go outside and get a little fresh air. I do, right? I go outside and get some fresh air. I stand in front of I stand in front of the building. We talk, we laugh, we da 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 da, whatever. But it there's a difference in the scene. You know what I'm saying? And if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a professional business. We are professionals. Let's act like it. and stop making excuses. Stop overcharging people because you have a limit. Stop overcharging people because you have a limited skill set. You're trying to max out your limited skill set by overcharging those people. Oh, I'm slow. I'm only getting this, so I'm gonna charge them $100 a head. But as an overall barber, you couldn't cut your way out of paper bag. Like I said, I don't want in the school. My goal is not to create position barbers, right? Curly barbers, kinky barbers, uh, straight hair barbers, wavy hair bar. My goal is not to create position barbers. My goal is to create athletes because with an athlete, I can put them anywhere on. I can put them in any situation and they can be successful. Now, will they have some strong suits and others versus others? Yes. It's just what it is. Some people are going to pick up things faster than the others. But if they have an understanding and be able to compete in any arena and do things in any arena, guess what? Even if the arena that they get in is their weakest zone, they gonna get better because they're gonna have to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Right? I'll never forget, and I've said this before. I told when I was coaching high school football, had a really 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 good athlete. He had a really good athlete, but he was habitually late to practice, lackadaisical, very distracting, and everything like that. And when he did show up, it was to pick on the much younger, weaker guys. He would never go hard against people who would be true competition to him. It's always the harder, weaker guys. And one day, we were in practice and we've been trying to get them together, and I went off and I said, like, this isn't working for me. It isn't working for you. I said, and at the end of the day, I want you to be as good as you tell people that you are. And barbers, I'm telling you, I want you to be as good as you tell people that you are. Not, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, let's be Kobe. Let's be MJ. Can we stop trying to be these no name players that nobody's ever heard of? Oh, I made the like this whole thing like, oh, I made it to the league. Yeah, okay. You made it to the league, but now you got to stay here. You got your barber's license. Now you have to stay here. Now you got to earn it. The license is the beginning, not the end. It's just what it is. The license is the beginning and not the end. All right. So again, guys, stop making excuses. Learn what you need to learn. Go take some classes. I don't care what it is that you got. Like, you have to understand, minor setbacks make for great comebacks. Minor setbacks. Oh, I'm struggling. I can't do this. I can't. I ain't got time to do that. I bet you I could find time in your day. You don't know what my schedule's like. No, 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 no. You haven't seen the schedule. You haven't seen You haven't seen anything. You haven't. You know. Well, my schedule's jam packed. Okay. If your schedule's jam packed, then I'm not. You're not the barber I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the person who is cutting 2 heads a day, but he charging $60 because he cutting. But I'm talking to that person. Oh man, I ain't trying to work that hard. So, I'm good with this. So I'm gonna charge my worth. What are you really worth if you can only get 2 clients a day? Average. What are you really worth? You don't even have a demand. I know my worth. No, you know your skill set. You don't know your worth. You know your skill set, and congratulations, you have a pretty decent skill set. But you don't know your worth. You don't know your worth. I'm just saying. Because those two things don't match up. You know, again, guys, tonight is episode 93 of the Band of Barbers podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please, please, please share this with someone you feel that would really get some value from this conversation. Share this with them. Let them know. Let them know that, hey man, you got to check this podcast out. This guy keeps it real. He really makes it what it is. Just let them know. I'm here. I'm here for y'all. Right? I'm here for y'all. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you again.